Yeah, sure. Thank you. Welcome to the 3 days demo workshop on AWS. I'll just note it down what and all we're gonna cover in these 3 days. Firstly, it's like day 1. Yeah, let me introduce myself. So I'm Anitha. I have 7 years experience working with AWS, Linux, DevOps, and Active Directory. I work in a MNC-based company. So I have also been into training multiple students as well as working professionals with respect to AWS, Linux, DevOps, Docker and Kubernetes, Python, and much more things. So I'm currently working as a technology analyst in an MNC-based company. And today it's the first day of a demo session on AWS. So I'll walk you through the contents along with the syllabus and as well as what and all we gonna cover in our actual classes. And we'll be having our demo sessions for the next 2 days as well. And post that we'll have a real-time classes once you have been registered for the same. So including today, for the next 2 days, the link will be same. So upon registering, the link would change. So that link would be enabled for only those who will register for the real-time classes.
After how much classes?
That's what. So it's 40 to 45 hours. Weekdays, 40 to 45 hours or days. A daily 1 hour. 1 minute to 40 to 45 hours. Weekdays batch. Weekdays batch. Daily 1 hour. Daily 1 hour. And the timings would be 9 to 10 a.m. 9 to 10 a.m.
How much experience you have total?
7+ years of experience.
Okay.
And it will cover all AWS concepts, right? Because I am new to this AWS, so it will cover.
Yeah, sure. Definitely in these 3 days, I'll put up what and all syllabus we're gonna cover. Is obviously, yes, we're gonna cover all because that's what let me introduce so that I mean give an introduction about AWS and core concepts and much more. So if you have any doubts, you can just pause me in between or the floor will be open once I complete the demo session for today. Then you can ask me the questions. Yeah, I'll be putting up what and all I'm going to cover as well. So for these 3 days, I'll take you through or I'll walk you through all the contents or what and all we support or how the classes would be, how the materials would be. So let me just take that at the end. I can say it's like recorded sessions. It will be uploaded to the drive and you'll all be having the access. Along with that, we'll be uploading notes as well, everyday notes in a Word format. So one can go through the same as well as if they have missed out any concepts or the classes. It's not something they have to wonder because the sessions will be recorded every day and it will be uploaded to Google Drive.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, sure. Thank you. So the support would be such a way like recorded sessions along with everyday notes. I can say sources as well.
And do you cover scenario-based interview questions as well?
Yes, obviously, yes. And every day,
Generally,
suppose for example, today if I'm taking up for compute, if I'm taking for compute section, then that would be something like from the beginning, like how do you launch an instance? In that, there would be some interview questions because every day the classes would be for an hour. So we'll be having a shorter number of, shortage of time. So within which even we'll be having a WhatsApp group. So once students have been registered for the training. So during real-time classes, we'll have our WhatsApp group as well. So wherein if they have any doubts, one can reach out to me, as well as I'll be putting up interview-based questions along with that some extra questions as well, like how the questions would might come.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So that's what I'm going to explain here. Yeah, so let's go quickly to the agenda for the day. First, my first question, first we're gonna, put up why we want cloud. And then I want, all of you to just let me know, like, what are your understanding. I'll just put up here. So later we'll discuss. Standing towards cloud, as well as we'll walk you through the cloud learning path. Okay, and we'll discuss about what are the various AWS certifications we do have, and coming up with prerequisites, if any, to learn cloud. And then let's move on to syllabus. Yeah, and also we'll be, like in this 3 days session, it won't be theory completely. For today, it will be theoretical. On day 2 and day 3, it will be mixed up, like both theory and practical session for a demo. Okay.
And you will cover Linux also, Linux.
Not much, which is required because in this AWS, it's only for AWS.
Okay.
Because in this 40 hours and everyday classes, we just can't, because Linux is again separate. Actually, I wanted to combine both Linux and AWS, but it will be like into two. That is, it almost like requires 70 hours.
No
So
problem.
we are planning for the same. Or here in this, because in this AWS, we will be using Linux instance itself, Linux based.
Okay.
So if whatever, if it is required, for example, like in order to create a directory or to move, anyways, we'll be using Linux commands. Yeah, so we'll be knowing, and we'll be, I'll make you to understand what and all it's going to be covered here, but not completely Linux.
So whatever required for Linux commands,
Yes,
you are
for
covering,
this,
right?
yes, I'm covering for this
Yeah, then no
particular
problem.
AWS. Yeah, we're gonna cover. We do have separate, like only Linux, but it is, it's going on, but now we didn't start yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Now let me tell. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
yes, you will cover like networking basic concept like IP address, public IP, private IP.
VPC. That's what I wanted to tell you. Here in this VPC, here in this AWS, in our syllabus, we do have a concept of VPC and VPC peering, endpoint, so and so, wherein even in the private network, how you will be able to access the internet by, like crossing the firewall configuration, or how we, so that is the reason we should be aware of a bit of networking, which I will explain, like how exactly in that VPC, how are we making a subnet, or how many IPs would be available. If
Okay.
not in depth, at least for that particular concept, yes, obviously I'm going to cover 60% of Linux would be covered here, because the set of commands, whatever we use here, it's purely Linux commands. So if you are interested for only to learn Linux, then please let me know. Yeah. So now I'll just continue here. So shall I continue further?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. First of all, why do we want cloud? We all knew. Like, first of all, when I say cloud, it's like, the resources will be delivered via internet, or delivery of services via internet. Or what is the advantage over traditional approach? Obviously, we know faster access, reliability, and backup feature, access anywhere, anytime without any geographical restrictions. No need to have physical maintenance of, like server or something. And it is also very simple, and it doesn't require much space. It's all purely cloud storage. First of all, why do we need that? So for these reasons, we have been going with cloud. Now, when I say cloud, what and all we use in our day-to-day life? It's usually like for our Gmail, Drive, everything would run and everything is based on cloud. So whenever we back up something, earlier we used to take it on a pen drive, memory card, or a hard drive, but now it's purely like on cloud basis. And one more thing I just wanted to tell here, everywhere, I mean, right now, every organization is, moving towards, it's already been moved, but still they are completely migrating towards cloud. And what are the advantages? Because of these reasons, like in order to, it will be efficient to maintain the data centers as well compared to traditional approach, and so on. So, and when I say cloud, we do have, I mean, right now we are into this AWS, but everyone might have heard about, I mean, we all are aware of Azure as well and GCP, Google Cloud Provider. So these are some cloud providers, cloud service providers, CSP. So we are using, I mean, in our session here, we are going with AWS, Amazon Web Services. We are utilizing or making use of the services provided by Amazon. Why do we need to switch to AWS itself? I mean, why do we need to opt for AWS? Because we do have Azure as well as Google, GCP. Why AWS? Tomorrow we'll know the dashboard of AWS or a console wherein it is very easier for us to access or to know that where exactly, like it will be easier for us to navigate, understand, and very much easier to build. Also, everyone are aware that nowadays Amazon, I mean, the shopping and Alexa and even Amazon Prime Video, everything is running basis on this AWS itself. An example I would like to give about Prime Video, you might have experienced for the first time when you have logged in and you wanted to watch a movie or a series. So the first time when you click on that, it will take some time, right, to load. It will take some time, fraction of seconds, or 20 to 30. And the next time when you just go and watch the same content, it will be something, it will make you to easily, it will make you to access in a bit faster way. Why? Cache, because of cache. And also something, that Prime Video, I mean, that particular series or a content or a movie would have been, stored somewhere or uploaded from somewhere apart, thousands of kilometers apart, or can say 10,000 to 20,000, or from another country. Let's take it as from another country. How are you able to see that particular content which has been uploaded irrespective of your geographical location? How are we able to view that? There is a concept of CDN. That means content delivery network, which means it will make us to access efficiently, I mean, to access the content efficiently via online without any geographical restrictions or boundaries. And that is how this Prime Video or Netflix would work. Means it will make us so that in nearby data centers or somewhere in nearby, it will be stored. So the first time when we access, it will take some time, but the very next time when we access, it will be easier. Similarly, even in our AWS console, we do have a number of regions: Ohio, North Virginia, and Oregano, US based. So whatever the locations, we can choose that particular location as per our requirement. And it is not something that if you make a use of your region within India, then that is something very faster. And if you just opt for North Virginia or Oregano or something else, then it would take some time. No, irrespective of any region, the way how you like launching an instance, because when we want to launch an instance, we'll be choosing a particular region. So in that scenario, it doesn't make any difference even if you choose something which is nearer to us, like Calcutta or something. Even if you choose for North Virginia, the same thing would be. I mean, the time taken to create an instance or access something would be the same duration. And this is where the concepts of AWS, that is the services provided by Amazon, will be utilized in our day-to-day life. Let me guide you that while I note down some AWS syllabus, okay, later, because I wanted to give an overview, and meanwhile I want to put up what are the concepts along with the example so that it will be easier for us to know. So this is what I mean. These are the various cloud service providers. So here we'll be taking up AWS, and it will be something we have to get registered and create an account, which will be a free tier based for an entire year. All it is required is just a 2 rupees, which will be debited from a debit card or a credit card, and it will be refunded after 48 to 72 hours. Only 2 rupees. Then I shall guide you to create the account as well in real time once we start our real time classes, which is something like, we'll opt for free tier eligible account so that we'll have our, like particular set of, for a set of duration, we'll be having, will be able to access for, we'll be able to access freely. The services would be available freely. So for the 12 months, we can opt and we can just practice and we can make use of it. So that is the reason we have chosen AWS, and nowadays it's been, like widely and most adopted feature. Along with this, you might have heard about DevOps as well. Correct. So it's something, Linux, AWS, DevOps. It's something all these three would go in a flow. If you are very familiar with Linux, then AWS is something, it's like a piece of cake. Wherein once we start to, like, because that is how, once we log in into our AWS console, we'll be launching either Ubuntu or Linux or Windows machine. Most of the time, we'll be using with Linux just to experiment and to know the difference. Only for some concepts, we'll be having both the operating systems being considered, and we'll be experimenting our demos over there. I mean, the hands-on experimentations would be done. But here, yes, so most of the things are from Linux, because we all know that everyone are opting towards the Linux. The reason, because it is something free, I mean, open source, CLI based. The majority is something, it's that portable open source. The main reason is open source. Some Debian based as well, like Ubuntu also. So that is why, in order to, like if we are aware of Linux, then it is something very good. If not, then yeah, we'll just learn the set of commands when we do our lab hands-on experiments. And we all might have heard about AWS DevOps or Azure. I mean, there is no concept of Azure DevOps, but yeah, DevOps will use there, but it is something, the set of tools we'll be using for DevOps would be same thing. The only thing is the dashboard would be different and some steps are a bit different compared to, that is why we say different cloud service providers, because they offer variety of services. Because in this AWS, I have told you 12 months free tier account. Also will be given some set of duration, like in order to utilize some special resources, it won't be charged for certain hours. But not in case of GCP and Azure. It is not the same thing, wherein it's a paid version. So if we are aware of Linux and AWS, DevOps is something that's a next level. So wherein we learn different tools over there as well. Again, we'll be taking up Linux based instance over there. Linux are Debian based instance. Again, Ubuntu, the command CLI based. So this is where the flow is. Now let me just interact with you, or let me know your understanding towards cloud. So can you just tell me, like, just let me know what are you working, and what are your expectations, or what do you know about cloud? Um, yes, I have here Mohit, Gopi, Chand, and one more. It's Mani Kantan. Yeah, Mohit, or anyone can just unmute and tell me about your experience. I mean, what are you working for? Your, sorry, 1 minute. Your current role or position, and your experience. I mean, just to know about how well are you aware of, or what are your expectations,
Yes, yes.
along with your names again.
I am a telecom plus software engineer. Yes, telecom plus
Your
software.
name
My
is
profile is
Mohit, right?
telecom. Hello.
Yeah, it's Mohit. Yeah,
Yes,
Mohit,
yes.
tell me.
Yes, yes. I am a telecom plus software engineer, telecom plus software, telecom R&D engineer.
Okay.
And I am having 8 plus now, near about 9 years experience currently.
Okay.
And but this cloud computing is required in my field, telecom, like AWS, DevOps. It is now because telecom is completely on the cloud, like AWS, Azure, DevOps. So that I want to upgrade my skills
Okay.
in my field. That's why.
Sure.
And this cloud, basically, my understanding about this, basically, it is a server. We can launch a server, and we can create a data center and launch all the install the machine, virtual server. We can create anywhere.
Okay. Sure, I understood. Thanks, Mohit. So I just want, we'll discuss about, once everyone have introduced about themselves, we'll discuss about this later. Now, next, Gopi Chandar Manikandan.
Yeah, hi, Anitha, Gopi here. I am
Yeah,
working
hi.
as a support analyst. I have 7+ years experience, but I am new to AWS. In my company, they are moving all the applications to cloud slowly.
Yes,
So I am new to this.
migration.
Yeah, I know basic Linux commands and everything, but
Okay.
I am new to this AWS. I don't know, but I know
Okay.
what is cloud, everything. But how
Okay.
to launch account, everything. Um, I want to learn from scratch and
Okay. Sure.
everything. Yeah, that is my
Done.
expectation, and I can able to scratch any interviews after this training.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Next, Manikandan. Please be a bit louder because your voice is not audible.
See, I'm currently working for an MNC.
Okay.
5 years of experience. I'm currently moved to a kind of architect kind of role I'm trying to do. From project management to I'm moving towards an architect. And so I'm trying to do an AI related, AI and ML related AWS architecturing side.
Okay.
So previously I know a little bit Azure related side, but AWS things I need some kind of practical experience.
Oh, okay, sure. That's good. Okay, now let me, now can you just tell me what are your understanding towards cloud? I know this is something a basic one, but I just wanted to know like what are your ways, because everyone will be having different perceptions, right? So please let me know. When we say cloud, what exactly it comes into your picture? Money, you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah. When I just say cloud, so what might comes into your picture?
So the cloud, which is be specifically for the infrastructure saving the cost, maybe previously the on-premise one, they have servers and other things. they're towards moving to a cloud-based where the infrastructure can be easily upgraded, or we can reduce it based on our requirement, or we can convert as a platform as service, infrastructure as service kind of way we can utilize. That's a level of message I'd like to pass now.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So thanks for all of you to have, like introduced about yourself and with your experiences as well as your expectations. Now, let me say, so for someone, I mean, Mohit have told about they are asked as they're moving towards cloud and AWS, they wanted to know. So what I can suggest is it's something that Linux, AWS, and DevOps, because I'm not just introducing here, but I am taking up for DevOps as well, wherein a separate only for Docker and Kubernetes separately, where the batch is ongoing, or a complete DevOps, where it's like Git, GitHub, Maven, Ansible tool for configuration and
And
infrastructure.
when is it that complete to DevOps training? Is it going or you want to launch?
Actually, for Docker and Kubernetes, the batch is already started.
Oh,
So the
that is
demo has
enough.
been.
Docker and Kubernetes enough, or we want to learn other dev tools?
Okay. Okay. Let me tell you something. So the thing is, when I say cloud, okay, I'll just come to your question now. I'll answer one by one. Usually, when I said cloud, when I asked what is cloud, we all said it's like we'll be able to access via internet, where is something very faster, or it's much easier compared to on-prem, so that resources would be reduced, or etc. But if you ask in another way, I can say cloud is a collection of domains. Why I say cloud is a collection of domains? You might ask me. Because in domains, we do have network, storage. What else we have? Compute, which is main thing. Compute, storage, network, database. That is what we have, all these domains in our AWS services. Also something security concepts. Along with that, auto scaling. Let me type here network, auto scaling. Private or public network, so and so. So the thing is, cloud, we all knew the general answer, but if you want to just have a specialized way to be answered, something like you can say along with that answer, it's like collection of domains, that domains where all the domains will be at one place. Because in order to like network, storage, compute, database, security, and everything. So that is where this comes into picture, cloud. I said cloud means collection of domains. But if you ask me what is DevOps, it's a collection of tools. I know we're gonna say collaboration between developers and operation team, but collection of tools. Why? Because we do have version control systems as well as a configuration tool like Ansible, infrastructure tool like Terraform, and infrastructure build tool, Maven, automation tool, Jenkins, scanning tool, and what else? Testing. Then comes with containerization, and then comes with orchestration. If you ask me, this DevOps is something like CI/CD. CI/CD. That means continuous integration and continuous deployment. And in order to perform this, obviously, cloud is required. Correct. And how do you achieve? Definitely, we have to know. And in order to do that, some commands would be aware. We should be aware of some set of commands. And how that would be achieved, something with Linux. So I can say Linux, AWS, and DevOps, those three are something in which will go in a one line. And Mohit have asked me, Anitha, would that be sufficient if I just go with containerization and orchestration? See, if you learn, I mean, right now, the reason because some students have approached for containerization and orchestration tool. That's why only for Docker and Kubernetes, I'm taking up for the classes. But for this, for if you just need for complete DevOps, then I do have this set of commands. So wherein we learn all like Git, Maven, Jenkins, Ansible, Terraform, Docker, and Kubernetes, which all included at once. Yes,
Yeah,
we are
that
planning to start the batch.
yeah, that should
Yeah,
be fine now. Yeah,
yeah,
want to
okay, fine.
learn all these things. Yeah.
Yeah, then that's what. Right now, I'm taking up for Docker and Kubernetes. Also, we are about to start for DevOps, only for DevOps. If someone just have a concern about that, they want everything to go just in a flow. So that Linux, AWS, and DevOps, the complete package. Because we being a working professionals, as we are migrating from one project to other project. Usually, that's what we are doing, right? Because now we have come up to learn this cloud. As you said, you are moving towards or migrating towards cloud. So wherein it's a project requirement or an organization requirement. So when the requirement arises, we obviously opt for it.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So I just wanted to tell you that's it, because as you have asked me, I have given you the overview. Okay. Yes. So you can choose what exactly is needed. And now, okay, so for Gopi and Money, yeah, that's what. In this AWS also, they have something with respect to AI and ML separately, correct? But in order to move on with that, first we have to be aware of the fundamental step. That is where this AWS come into picture. Now let me show you. No, before that, I'll show you in this AWS certification section. Okay. Right now, yeah, we have covered what's cloud. I'll just put up. Yeah. Here. A cloud learning path, or someone, I mean, one of you have asked, is it mandatory or what and all it's required to know? Or yeah, that comes here. But this cloud learning path, as I have told you prior, it is something, it goes in one line, something with respect to AWS, Linux, AWS, and DevOps. Why Linux? Because nowadays 80 to 90% of the organizations are using or moving towards Linux because of its open source feature. Because in every organization, that is what it is happening, right? They are using Windows operating system lesser compared to Linux one. So this learning path would be in this way. So wherein in order to get a job of DevOps engineer, for example, for the role of DevOps engineer, one must be aware of this Linux, AWS, and DevOps. If you just say, okay, I know DevOps, that's why I can be a DevOps engineer, then obviously it's no, because when we say that name, then it is the one. And if someone wants to get the title of cloud network engineer or cloud engineer, obviously they have to be aware of multi-cloud technology. Means one has to be aware of Amazon, like AWS, Azure, and GCP, because right now these three are the most popular and these three are the cloud service providers. So when we want the title to be like cloud engineer or a for a network engineer or something, or cloud engineer, then obviously it is something we have to be aware of. One has to be aware of multiple cloud technologies. Okay. So this is something with respect to cloud learning path. Let me quickly take this at first. What are the prerequisites to learn cloud? Or you might have a zero knowledge, or you just don't know what is. Oh, we just know the definition of cloud, but we don't know anything apart from that. No need to worry, because I'll be taking up cloud fundamentals, like cloud computing fundamentals as well in the beginning for 1 or 2 days, for starting 2 days, which means what is cloud. And here also I can just put up pay as a go model. This cloud means it's a pay as a cloud model, and we do have various or a different types when it comes to like IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Also a function as a service, that is Lambda, serverless, which we gonna cover up here in this AWS. I'll just explain later in the AWS syllabus section. Network as a service, like creating our own network to secure the cloud infrastructure that can be achieved via our VPC. And then SEAAS, that is security as a service, that is something cybersecurity. I mean, I'm just giving you the domains. I'm just explaining. So what and all would cover up in the fundamental kind of, and something, this is DAAS, that is end user computing. So now IaaS means it's something we need to create it, or virtualized computing. And what are the examples would be? Again, AWS. That means infrastructure will be maintained from cloud service provider, wherein we are just utilizing it over the internet. Virtualized resources. We are virtualizing everything. But infrastructure is maintained by our AWS. And platform, a complete application. Google App Engine, something. So wherein we manage only applications and data. Rest all it will be managed by cloud service providers. And the software, a complete software. It's a fully managed software wherein we just will access and we'll just, we'll use it. That's it. Everything will be taken care or managed by service provider. And all models I have explained, like function as a service, that is serverless, or we also have container as a service. That is something container based virtualizations. With example, Google Kubernetes Engine or GKE or AWS Fargate something. And desktop, DaaS means desktop as a service. Obviously, we know Azure Virtual Desktop, or it's a virtual desktop environment. Yes. And in this cloud computing fundamentals, I'm going to cover up like what are the types or different types of cloud, like public, private, hybrid. Just an overview, so that one has to be aware of cloud fundamentals, then so that we'll be knowing why are we going with the cloud. Even though it is something we all aware of it, it is my duty or our syllabus criteria such that first of all the basic will be covered. So I can say in this AWS syllabus, the first thing would be cloud fundamentals or cloud overview. Then we go on with, we'll explain you how to launch an instance and different AWS families. Like, when we launch an instance, we'll be knowing that in day 2 or day 3 of our demo session. What are the, let's say, storage, what are the different, what I'll say, compute we do have, or the family of storage. So then we'll create an instance. Then for the compute and all, how are we changing from 8 GB to, if at all, if we need 2 core CPU or something, or how do we understand if it is free tier enabled. So we'll be all be knowing that once we create an account, once we have created account and start having our demo hands-on. Then in order to store, for storage, we'll be using with AWS S3. That is, it will store the data in terms of bucket. We'll understand how to version that. Versioning means, for example, you have uploaded something, then you have removed or deleted that file. So versioning will enable you to something you have deleted or you wanna roll back, or how do you back up. And S3 means that storage can be accessible from other region or not. So we'll be knowing in depth with respect to this S3 for storage. Then we also have, okay, first of all, for compute, we have elastic cloud computing, that is via which we'll be installing our Linux machine. Okay, one sec. And then for storage, we do have S3. Then network. For network, we do have VPC, VPC peering. VPC means it's a virtual private cloud. See, when we launch an instance, we'll be going on with public network. That means even if I provide you the URL or my IP, the machine which I have launched, you would be able to access. But in real time, it is not something that is a proper way, because we all know that only the front end will be accessible, or access would be given for public. Private, that is database or some confidential data will be accessible internally. So how do we achieve that? So we'll be making only some set of applications to be available publicly, but the concept of VPC would come into picture, wherein if you want to disable a particular port, or we want to disable the complete like accessing from the internet, or we should not give any internet access for that particular machine, then how it is achieved via VPC. And what's this VPC peering? It is something that we are clubbing or merging or making a connectivity or establishing a network between multiple VPC, that is multiple virtual private cloud. How different networks connect each other. Okay. And how the private machine will get an internet, what we need to configure. These are something advanced one. So we have put up here as well. I mean, in my syllabus as well, including basics to intermediate and advanced. Today, I'll just list out a complete syllabus. Now I'll give you an overview. Okay, then we do have, when I come to users and groups, we have a concept of IAM and organization. Identity and access management, because if someone have worked on Active Directory, wherein again the IAM concept would come into picture. IAM and AWS organization. See, in your organization, if in your organization, if they are moving towards or have already been moved, then they have a topic or concept called as AWS organization. That means, suppose let's think we four of us are working under a same company called XYZ. So now, instead of they giving me a separate account, and for you and for all of us a different and individual accounts, what they will do, they'll create an AWS organization. I mean, they'll create an organization under which we all will have our own accounts. So no need to log in via different account, but it is something that is isolated. You can't see you just can't come into my account and view, but it is something, a protected one. It means under a same root, we all will be the branches, different branches. So in a one account, using only one account, we all will be able to use. For example, right now I'm into production, you are Mohit into development, and Manikantan is on testing, and he will be on some other like integration. Okay, CI/CD, let's keep it. So now, instead of having a 4 different accounts, what they'll do is there will be a root. So they'll create an organization that is multiple child accounts. So for me, I have a separate branch or a child group, separate group called testing one. So wherein I can access. And if Mohit comes into my team, if Mohit comes into testing team, leaving his development team, then yes, obviously he'll also be added into that account. So that is where this organization, AWS organization, by cost cutting. This is what, see, in real time, will say cloud means cost cutting. But again, the company will hire you if you have more strategies about how to reduce the cost to much extent. Correct? That is what usually the organization expects. So having this AWS organization would definitely reduce creating number of accounts and providing them the how do I say package or something, because when we create an account we have to reserve some set of dollars or amount for the same. So by this we can reduce the cost. We have IAM, then we also have security group, which comes into picture of IP address subnet and something. So security groups, and also we'll be allowing or disabling the ports. In our organization's laptop, will not be able to access some URLs, correct? For me, I cannot access YouTube and no external link, including my Gmail as well. I just can't access my Google Drive. How that's achieved? Via disabling port or blocking the firewall. How it is? Via security group. In Active Directory, we'll create a group, we'll enable and disable the set of access. Then if I just go and add you into that group, you will get the same access with respect to mine. But here in this, from laptop to laptop, again here also every organization would do the same thing. They have a group wherein they'll add me. If I'm a new joiner, they'll add into particular group so that we'll be having limited access. So that is where even my laptop or my colleague's laptop, if we are all at the same team, then we don't have access to access some particular set of URLs. So that's via this. And Amazon machine image, that means converting our instances into image. Right now I might have launched an instance and I have installed required servers like Nginx, Tomcat or so and so, and I have created a folder. In that folder I have my documents with or my complete project work. So wherein I need to in order to maintain that, or in future I just don't want to lose that. So what I'll do, I'll convert that instance as a image, so that if I have that AMI, that is Amazon machine image, as a template, wherein if you just instead of choosing a cloud service based template, if you choose your saved template, then once you launch a machine, you will get all that particular servers which you have already installed, along with that particular files or folders which you have saved previously. Okay, so this is why. And we also have the concept of elastic IP, which means I shall show you in the real time as well. When we launch an instance, definitely we have to enable an option of auto enable public IP. Without public IP, we just can't access internet. So but suppose you think today I just stop the virtual machine. Tomorrow I'll log in back to my account and I'll start my machine, virtual EC2 instance. But IP wouldn't be the same. But how do I make sure that IP remains static? Means even if I reboot for a number of times, it should be static. How? It is achieved via elastic IP. See, these are the ways the questions would be asked. How do you achieve? Via EIP. Then how would that be done? We'll be knowing it. Would that be chargeable or something? Yes, but as we have free tier account, we have to use it. It's not chargeable. I'll show you how to delete or how to like cancel or terminate the services whichever we have used during our session, so that it won't be charged more. So I'll guide you completely and fully throughout the session, so no need to worry. We also have a number of concepts called EBS. Today I'll just note it down, tomorrow I'll explain you about that. EBS means elastic block store. So how are we going to, for storage purpose? Also we have elastic bean stack as well, using which it's a platform as a service. How do we use that, or how do we launch a website using PaaS? Then application load balancer. We all might be aware of Flipkart or Amazon big billion days, wherein crores to crores users would access and hit that particular URL. But the server should go down, right? No. But how that's achieved? Via ALB, that is load balancer. Not ALB, it's a load balancer ALB, but we have multiple types, that is network load balancing or application load balancing. So we'll learn that in our concepts. Also, we have NATing. NATing means that is network address translation, that is enabling internet access to our private machine. How do we achieve that? VPC pairing, VPC and VPC pairing, creating our own private network and making multiple networks to communicate to each other. How are we achieving it? Via VPC pairing. Also, we have endpoint section, that also we'll know about it, like how exactly we're gonna connect, and transit gateway and DNS or Route 53. Endpoint means using endpoint means using public instance. How do we log in into private instance? So via the gateway attachment. So how are we going to achieve? Also along with that, VPN, Route 53, yeah, cloud formation. 1 minute. Transit gateway, Route 53. We should have our own domain being purchased, and how are we experimenting it? Also we'll know about networking. Okay, it's not in a order wise, it's not organized. Okay, but while explaining it will be organized. I am just roughly noting it down here. Okay, and etc. concepts. Tomorrow I shall list few more. Now let me just show you about no, okay, let's take it for tomorrow, then I'll just show up the syllabus now. Networking, that under networking, like subnet or class full or classless IPs, or how are we going to do that? And then in order to launch a machine, we should have a private key. How do we convert our existing public key into private key using a software? How are we doing it? How are we achieving it? And what are this putty or putty gen? Why do we need it? Putty gen. What if you're see in interview or in real time they'll ask, so while launching a machine I have given a private instead of putty I've given open SSH, that is PEM key. How are you going to convert? Or do I need to generate a new key, again deleting an existing instance, and do I need to do that, or is there any way to log in? Then it's via puttygen. How we are converting our existing PEM key or putty, that is putty key or PPK into PEM, or vice versa. How? We all know this. And also, actually this is a Linux concept, that is password based and passwordless based authentication. Passwordless based authentication, that means via password based, like once you log in you have to enter, you have to give in your password, something like at 123 or something. But if not a password based, and how are you going with passwordless based authentication, means without entering your password, how are you going to connect to the instance? These are something that, you know, so when I say AWS, Linux is almost in. But Linux is something wherein a complete file system hierarchy, the complete mounting, unmounting, and to know the root structure, profiles, home directory, shared files or folders, everything. That is something, it's very good to learn. But here in this, yes, we'll cover AWS concepts, but sorry, Linux concepts in this AWS. But how much ever we required for this session, I'll be taking up that much. Also have few more concepts left. Okay, please don't mind. I do have like cloud formation. The entire syllabus will be forwarded to you, or you might have seen in the link as well, correct? So some migration as well, and add on I can show an experimentation. I mean, once we have done with the classes, or if at all if I finish the classes, it's not something related to us, but as an add-on from my end, it's not included in the syllabus, but from my end I can show another 2 experimentations wherein it is related to analytical, something like AWS glue. That is, how are you going to from the JSON format, or playing with the data analytics, or to view data from the glue like Athena. You can just Google now analytic, because yeah, I can say in this cloud is a collection of domain. We have AI and ML, analytics, and much more. Analytics, say monitoring. For monitoring we use CloudWatch. That is why I said we have multiple concepts. You can just have a look on my syllabus page. What is this? CloudWatch for monitoring, or how are we setting alerts? For example, a particular machine is using almost 80% of resources, but it has to alert me now, because after 80% it has to trigger an alert or send an SMS notifications, those services, email services. So these are all we'll be knowing in depth. We'll be knowing along with the experimentation. Okay, and users groups and policies, and web server hosting along with the DNS integration. Web server hosting along with DNS integration. That means nowadays we can just, if I give you IP, no, we can't do. But when I say Facebook, we all will be able to know. But behind that, how it has been done via the DNS integration, that is converting an IP into host name. DNS resolution, how it is achieved, we'll experiment that. We also have elastic network interface as well. How are we going to add another adapter? Because we all know that in our laptop we do have one adapter, that is ETH0 or ENX something, right? How are we going to do that? and then backup, image backup or AMI backup. So like this, we have few more concepts. Please have a look on the the syllabus. Also, we have network access control list. What is the difference between security group and NACL, that is network address control list, which is more prioritized? What if I have given in the first rule, I'll be given block the Facebook. In next rule, I'll give, you will come and say, you'll say, hey, please enable the access. So you'll allow the Facebook. But earlier I have blocked, but now you have enabled. So which will be prioritized? Which is the priority? We'll all understand with this NACL, that is network access control list. So similarly, we have some other set of concepts. Please do go through it, and please reach out to me if you have any. So tomorrow will be day 2. So we'll be knowing in depth with respect to other few concepts. So please do join for the session at the same time. That is 9 to 10 a.m. IST. And tomorrow also we'll continue for day 2 and day 3. And please provide the feedback. They have provided the link via chat. It will be very helpful. And thanks for joining today. Please let me know if you have any questions now.
I think proper class will be start after 2 days.
After 3 days, yeah, including today. That is from Thursday, the classes will be started. If you have any concerns, please do let me know. Like they have provided the number, right? Institute number. If you have any concerns with respect to batch timings or how it is or whatever, you can reach out to them. They'll suggest you.
Okay, and you will cover AWS CI/CD also in this course.
Sorry, AWS?
CI/CD. CI/CD.
CI/CD.
Yes, AWS. How to
see, CI/CD is something that doesn't come here. It will come in Kubernetes. This DevOps.
Okay.
In AWS CI/CD, we can no CI/CD in AWS. Can you see I have listed here in DevOps because I wanted to clarify you what exactly is DevOps. What can we do in deployment? Where are we going to do? But we are launching a website or hosting a website, and we are playing with this complete networking, everything in this AWS. CI/CD, that is something with DevOps.
Okay.
This comes here. That means you will get a raw code. How are you building a file that is via Maven, that is via this build tool? Then how are you going to write a script via Terraform, that is infrastructure as a tool? Then how are you going to configure automatically? It's via Ansible.
Okay.
And how are you going to deploy automation via Jenkins? So from that Jenkins, the automation, that is continuous deployment, would start. Continuous integration, the first thing. Continuous deployment, it starts from here. Automation till containerization and orchestration. Okay.
Okay.
But
So
in Amazon, there is something says it.
You will take separate batch DevOps.
Yes.
When this batch will be start?
Yes, I wanted to discuss the same thing. Right now, only for Docker and Kubernetes, it is ongoing.
Okay.
Only if you need only for DevOps, please do call to the number that I have pasted here in the chat window, the institute number. So we will conduct one more demo session. What and all we gonna cover? Because see, as I have instructed you, like this is what will be, but one should know like what version controlling system, which concept I gonna cover. Earlier we do have GitHub, Bitbucket as well, but I'm not going to use with Bitbucket because it's an older version. Rather, we'll be going on with Git and GitHub. So how are we? So that is what the entire syllabus we have to know. That is where the demo session is. If you really want it, please do reach out to the institute. So we'll arrange a demo session again only for DevOps or something. Okay. Or if you want to join for Docker and Kubernetes, or if you want for Linux or continuous Linux, AWS, and whatever concerns you have, please reach out to institute. So I'll keep a note.
Okay.
Yeah. Any more questions?
No, my question is that if I have any doubt, like AWS, to perform the practical, then
You have to reach out. See, only for these demo sessions, the number which I have provided in the chat window, that is institute number. You can reach out to them, or if you have any concerns, or if you want to speak to me, then I'm available tomorrow and after tomorrow at the same time. That is 9 to 10 a.m. IST. If you're really interested, or if you want to know that you want to continue for the real classes, or you want to register, Please let me know by tomorrow or day after tomorrow end. Once these demo sessions are done, I can guide you, or I can, like tell you, instruct you, whatever it is, or I'll clarify all your doubts. Yeah, I'll be here for the next 2 days. You can reach out to me, or when I take the classes, we'll be having a dedicated WhatsApp group along with the emails being sent. Everything is official here. Everything is officially being passed. Means you will get a recording session every day. Once the session is done, you will get the notes, materials, and a separate WhatsApp group wherein I'll put up if any extras to be covered, and also every day I'll update if we at what time reminders, join the classes or something. And if you have any doubts, no need to hesitate. You can hit me up in WhatsApp via 1-to-1 or a group chat as well. Like, Anitha, I have this doubt or something, I can suggest.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. So if you have any queries, please reach out to me tomorrow, and please do join for tomorrow and day after tomorrow as well. Thanks for joining today. If no questions, then are we good to wind up the session for today?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for your valuable time. We'll catch up tomorrow. Please do join for the session.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Okay, thank
Have a great day.
Thank you.